Hey there, I'm Trey Taylor.
And I'm Michelle Harris.
And you are?
The Donkmaster.
The Donkmaster!
The one and only, right?
Is that how they introduced you? The Donkmaster!
The Donkmaster.
Oh, right. Donkmaster.
There you go.
Master.
Now, born as Sage Thomas, though, you know, other folks would be like, I think I went to high school with him. His name wasn't Donk. Okay, yeah.
That's right. You were born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina, in Hopkins area?
No, I was actually born in Hardyville, South Carolina. We moved to Orangeburg. So, like, my mother, she worked in Orangeburg, Columbia, Hopkins, all that stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. So tell me first, what is a donk?
A donk is a 71 through 76 Chevrolet Caprice Impala. That's the only thing a donk is. It's not no other old school. A donk is a 71 through 76 Caprice Impala, 2-door, 4-door convertible. That is a donk.
All right.
Okay. So you're a purist. You're a purist. It's like, don't try to just pass off any old school.
Don't say you see the Monte Carlo old car with some rims on it. That's not what it is. It's only a 71 through 76 Caprice Impala is a donk. That's it. Nothing else.
Do people usually try to say all old cars are donks?
Oh, that's what they normally do, but then I check them real quick. Like, that ain't how it goes.
That ain't it.
That's not it. That's not it.
Right. So how did you get into donking?
Like as far as building donks and stuff like that, I used to work at a car wash in Orangeburg. It was called Happy J's. And all the boys that seemed like they had some money, or they came through there and it was clean and shiny, they had a donk. And they would always want me to clean it because they knew I was fascinated by them, and I always kept them real clean for them. So that's how I actually got in and started in love with the car. When I seen them at the car wash, they would come, and they would always have a nice sounding motor, and they always was fresh and clean. So once I started seeing them at the car wash, and that's what got me infatuated with them.
So from there, you started working on them?
Oh yeah, from there I started working on with my uncle. See, that's another thing. My uncle Buggy, my mother's brother, we didn't have no money, so he was like, "Hey, if you want a car, you want to drive, I got a car lot I can take you to." So I was like, "All right, I'm about to go to the car lot. I'm about to go to the car lot with my uncle Buggy." Right. The car lot is the junkyard.
So if you want a car, you better build your own.
If you want a car, you go pick one, and we go take it home, and we go get it running, and put it together, and then you go have a car.
All right.
Wow.
And that's the one that you know, he was teaching me a lot of different things at one time, as far as hard work, being consistent, you know what I mean, and being dedicated and building something you can appreciate. I didn't know all that. I just thought he was just being funny, but he taught me, you know what I mean? He taught me a lot, and what I'm using today.
It's like the wax on, wax off with the Karate Kid. Okay, he's teaching you, you didn't even know it. All right,
that is so cool. So you started building them, started becoming interested, and then what happened?
Oh, I just started doing it and kept doing it. I got really good at it. So actually, as I kept building the cars and stuff like that, people in the neighborhood started taking notice to it. So everybody in the neighborhood would always be like, "Man, that's the young boy with the fast cars. That's the young boy, man. He be building and driving different kind of cars." And then you know what I mean? People started taking notice to it, and I just kept building them for me. And then once I had a couple homeboys be like, "Man, build me one of them cars." And then I built them one of them, and then they took notice, and it was pretty good. And so it just kept going from there. So I left.
So that's how it grew into. I see your T-shirt. That's how it grew into In and Out Customs. That's what.
Oh, yeah.
To your business, to your customer.
I had a fella in the neighborhood that he'd be like, "Man, you get these cars in and out here fast. Like how you get them in so fast?" I like, "What you mean? I want the money fast, so I got to fix the car fast. So if I want to get paid, so I can go race on."
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just did them. You got them in and out fast. So that's why I started calling them In and Out Custom.
And that's exactly how the name came about. So the name came about in the backyard because I wanted to get the car fixed, done, and quick, so I can get the money. So it just came to In and Out Custom. So I'm out, just roll with it.
Yeah. So from there, how did you? Because we know that you actually invented, so to speak, a genre of sports through these cars. So how did you go from customizing the cars to really launching the racing part of it?
as far as customizing the car, we started doing it with the stuff like that. And a lot of boys back in the day, they would always take the wheels off and put the racing tires instead of the wheels. But I wanted to call it fast and flashy, what me and my homeboy came up with, called fast and flashy racing. So the very first race of this kind happened in 2015.
Wow.
So once we did the car where you can leave the club or wherever, and then you can go race the car, that was our whole premise of what we wanted to do. Because, you know what I mean, we wanted to be clean, we want to have our jewelry on, want to smell good, and just pull up in the old school car and just do what they do. So we actually invented big wheel racing, and now it's going to be a sanctioned body event backed by the NHRA. It's called the NDRA. We're going to launch it next year. So that's actual racing organization, the first of its kind, and it's backed by the National Hot Rod Association. Y'all know the big race cars they travel all over the world and do. So now I'm being backed by the NHRA, and I have my own racing league. It's called the NDRA. It's National Donk Racing Association.
That's
amazing.
So it's gone nationwide because so now there's a racing circuit. Like, because every time we seem to try to catch up with you, you're always on the road. So
yeah. Oh yeah. So now so right now we put a schedule together. We're going to do between 8 to 10 tracks all over the nation. As of all the following years before, I was all over the nation, from California, Texas, Iowa, Nebraska, New York, Maryland, Florida, Georgia, all over the place. Mississippi, Alabama. I normally travel all over the United States racing these cars.
So is it the donks that are actually racing? Is it only for donks?
No, it's actually donks, and then the other terms.
Donks and more?
G-body, huh?
Donks and more?
Oh yeah, donks, box Chevys. You know what I mean? The different years of automobiles is a different name, but as long as they're on big wheels and stuff like that, that's what it is.
Wow.
But I want people to understand something, because I've had an opportunity. We're going to get to your show on Vice, but your opportunity, the show Donkmaster, gave me a glimpse into the window of donk racing. And this particular episode was at the Darlington 500 racetrack. So it was in South Carolina, but people in racing know that Darlington 500 racetrack is a big deal. So, but you had helmets on, and there were timed races, and there were different length races and all of this. But there was also a concern about like not mud, oil slicks and stuff like that. So my point being that there's a science behind this. There's some danger involved. There's even to the point where your car can be too big and too strong and too fast or whatever. I mean, talk to us a little bit about what the race entails. People might just think, oh, they could do that on the street, but I mean, there's a real science behind all of this.
Yeah, as far as that, and that's something that I got pretty good at, and what I understand and knew how to do. So as far as like making a car with 1,500 horsepower go down the track in under 10 seconds, that's pretty hard to do. So it's a lot of things as far as the transmission and the engines and, you know, the tires and all that, to making it go and stay together. So it got to be done with good quality stuff. That's just like, I can say, you know what I mean? They got Walmart, and then they got Gucci. You know what I mean? So it's a big difference in
right.
those two. You know what I mean? Not only price difference, but the quality of what it's made out of. And so, like the cars that I build and stuff, they're considered the Gucci and the Louis Vuitton and stuff like that, about all that kind of stuff. But
right.
You know, you got to have it together when you racing those cars.
Right. So let's let Michelle start this video, and you can kind of tell us what we're watching.
Okay. So yeah, this video is I think Louisiana. I think it was in Louisiana.
So
and Darlington.
What's the money? Why has everybody got so much money? What's going on there?
Yeah, we gamble a little bit. We bet a little bit of money. You know, just a little bit of pocket change. We bet every now and then. When we
pocket change.
It's just a little bit of pocket change, but you know, we normally we can bet all different sums of money. You know what I mean? We might bet check money, or we might bet mortgage money. It just depends on who we
so the racers themselves, that's the thing that I thought was interesting from the show. The racers themselves place the bets to decide what the pot is going to be for that race. Is that correct?
As far as like if I'm going to race one of my cars against some of their cars, then we'll come to an agreement on how much we want to bet and how the race will be laid out. And then we go from there.
Oh, wow. And then whoever the winner is gets the pot. Is that what it is?
Yep. Whoever the winner is, get all the money.
Yeah.
Maybe about 80% or 90% of the time.
Yeah. So is there an opportunity, Donk, for it to kind of evolve into something else, like building sponsors into it? I mean, really making it huge, like quote unquote traditional racing?
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm in the process of doing now. So as the NDRA is being launched, we have sponsors. Like me personally, I have plenty of sponsors. So I have, you know what I mean, some of my sponsors are Rucci and 3V Engine and FTI Transmission, Nitrous Outlet. I have a lot of different sponsors, the Big Wheel Women. So it depends on what it's just getting it all formed together as a sanctioned body event, and then keep it going from there.
Right. Well, I want to talk about how it got so big, but did you say big body women was
No,
going
big wheel, big wheel.
Oh, okay. I just heard you say who?
Which I'm sure there's some big bodies in there, but hey,
just asking. So, how did you? I mean, you know, you got the show. How did you go from racing to actually being recognized by Vice Network for them to offer you a show?
Well, as far as the social media stuff, that's helped me a lot. So as the social, like I was in magazines and stuff like that. I was all over the internet with that part. And then as far as the Instagram and the YouTube, that even made it more. Because like in the beginning, it just was websites on the internet. Like I would be on the Rise magazine website racing my car. But then they came out with YouTube. So now I got the videos. And then I have a videographer, G-Dog803, who goes with me everywhere. And he starts, you know, he videos everything I do. And then I use my Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and I started doing it because of the things I do nobody's ever done. Like I put 5 cars on an 18-wheeler car hauler and jumping them and taking them to California and go race some cars similar to what I have. I put them on a car hauler and go down to Florida and go race people like that, just how you see on the television. So before that, it just really just marketing and promoting myself the way I have has got me to the TV, the national.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about those cars, in fact, because you've said before that these cars, you started off with the junkyard cars, but that's not what you have now. These cars can be $100,000, $150,000.
Wow.
And you putting 5 on them so I mean, is it the sponsorships that pay for the cars? Is it your business that pays for the cars? Is it the pot that you win? How do you sponsor a car for $100,000?
You know, we have a lot of sponsors, and then a lot of my customers are high-end customers. So I have a lot of NFL football. I have NFL players, NBA players, big party promoters. I even have a couple TV stars, comedians. The list of my clientele is very high. So I got like the high-end clientele. So it just like growth. You know what I mean? And people see me come out the backyard, and now I'm to a different level. So I just stay consistent with my brand, and I kept pushing it.
That's incredible. Can you drop some names?
Yeah, I have Tim Jennings. Played in the NBA, NFL. DJ Swearinger played for the Gamecocks. Cortland Finnegan. Who else it is? I got Steve Mo real good with all the names, but it's a lot.
A little gospel birdie told me that you and Fred Hammond might be doing something.
Yeah, I talked with him about doing this. He got a lot of old school cars, so I talked with him also.
Okay, well, give Fred my number. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Don, this is amazing that you really built something basically out of nothing, or really out of your hobby, out of your love for cars, out of the fact that your uncle tried to instill in you, you know, hard work, ethics. You got to work for what you want. And through your hard work, through social media, you have built pretty much an empire. What would you say to a young person who is trying to kind of figure out their way?
If you have to stay consistent, you got to believe in yourself. There's a lot of naysayers that was behind me, like a lot of people I grew up with. They was telling me all the time, you would never have all those show cars in it and money. And now I got people flying in from all over the world trying to give me their cars and all their money. So it's like you got to stay consistent. You have to believe in yourself. And it's something, if you believe in it, don't let nobody discourage you or deter you from your dream. And this is part of my dream. And you know what I mean? I'm just getting started. So it's going to be a lot more of what y'all going to see, a lot more of this.
That's awesome. You said go ahead, Michelle.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the social media piece along the lines of giving advice, because for a lot of people, social media is a double-edged sword. It puts you out there, but then it exposes you to a lot of times criticism. And I'm sure even listening from the trash talk that's going on in the pit on the Donkmaster show, everybody's not a fan. So what do you tell young people who basically live in that online universe, and what happens when the negativity comes to you?
You got to take the good with the bad. You know what I mean? If you get a brand new car, you start driving it. Sometimes you will get a flat tire, so you just got to go back and think about when it's a good time. And then, like I like to say, all publicity is good publicity, because they still talk about me good or bad anyway. So if they wake up and talk about me, they go to sleep talking about me. Either way, they still talk about me.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, piggybacking on what Michelle said about how to, kind of ignore social media, how have you and how can people kind of stay away from maybe some of the negative influences? Because there are negative influences in everything, So I'm sure there's some stuff going on at the donk race, the donk and more race, that you may not want to take advantage of or get involved in, because it's going to hurt you and your brand and everything you built.
Oh yeah, it's really just staying focused. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a good support team and people point me in the right direction where I need to be. But it really just about staying focused. So, really that's all I can say. I try to stay as focused as I can and just do what I need to get done. But that's really all it's about, to stay consistent and staying focused. And that'll get you a long way.
Yeah. All right.
It seems like there's never enough time, because every time we talk to you is like a new layer. So you're just going to have to promise to keep in touch and let us know every new thing that's going on with you.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is amazing. How can people watch the show?
Oh, the show is on Vice right now. Then it's on Amazon Prime. It's on demand, Vice Demand. They can watch the show. They can see some of the episodes on YouTube. But other than that, they can get in contact with me if they go on my Instagram. It's _Donkmaster on Instagram. Facebook is Donkmaster. Snapchat is DA Donkmaster. And they can get in contact with me either way. Any of those things, they can see them there also.
All right. This is the Donkmaster.
All right.